Hello there, and welcome everyone, and many blessings to you all. I'm here today to share a very special transmission with you all, a transmission directly from Divine Mother. And I've been feeling this energy very, very potent lately, and feeling this urge to express and to offer this devotional message of reassurance and empowerment and inspiration. And so wherever you find yourself on your path, and however you find yourself in this moment, I invite you to really open to receive, to breathe, and to bask in these sacred energies today. And really allow yourself to experience something beyond the mental mind and soften into this deeper dimension of feeling and your own inner knowing, and ultimately allow that divine remembrance and gnosis to emerge that is really speaking to you. It's speaking to all of us at this incredible time of transition and transformation on our earth. And so I'm going to be speaking today about Gaia, New Earth, this planetary ascension that we're going through, and ultimately this restoration of the divine matrix, this return of the divine mother that we are all feeling and that is impacting us all in such exquisite ways. And so first and foremost, I feel that it's important to reiterate that knowing that our ascension process is not just an individual one. We are going through a planetary ascension, and we are embedded and entwined and bonded with the Earth Mother as she is going through this process of embodiment of her own higher consciousness. Okay, and so this is a culmination of cycles within cycles, and we are at this critical juncture in mass awakening. There is this huge consciousness shift that's happening that we can all feel. We can feel it through our own personal lives, and we can see it in the world around us. And that is activating this deeper self-understanding. It is heightening our awareness, and it is really this path of return back to love, which is our sacred divine source. And so the themes of this time cycle are really all to do with rebirth. It is all to do with fertility, creativity, surrender, and it's this really special time of inspired creation. And so we're all awakening within the dream, and we are feeling that increasing sense of lucidity, that ability to perceive beyond a limited parameter of interpretation. It's like the fields dilating and the veils are coming down so that we can return to our conscious creator capacity, so that we can be empowered to create with intention and conviction of what we are creating. And it's not as though we ever actually wake up out of the dream. We are awakening within the dream to realize that we are dreaming reality into being. But in a world that we can see where so many are still sleeping, this is the moment now where this old world scaffolding is crumbling all around us, and it's releasing its hold on us. And these old structures and this entire framework is dismantling. And that can be very challenging. This is a very auspicious time. We are being pushed to our limit in this process of dissolution where we're trying to understand our place in it all. We're trying to flow with this transformation, this shift in energy. And you may be feeling this in your life right now. You may have been feeling this really intensifying over the last few years. And this is all about you finding out who you truly are outside of this false framework, this false reality, this artificial reality that is not the true divine matrix. And so if you're watching this, you are most definitely one of these divine souls that have incarnated. There are hundreds of thousands of light workers as volunteers for being those conscious conduits that aid in this planetary ascension that are really helping this process of remembrance. And so they're, all incarnating. This is all the new children that are coming in, but it's also everyone who is on this call. Really, you are that acupuncture point across the globe, wherever you are living right now, in your city, in your country. And you have specifically selected the family lines of which you were born into, the location that you were born into. And many of us are here to really overcome old patterns and programs that are specific to our DNA, that come along through the generational inheritances and the transference we receive through our genetics. And so we are all here as beings that on some level remember what is possible. And so we are here transmitting and emanating those higher frequencies of peace, of love, of authentic expression, of truth. This is stabilizing the morphogenetic field, and we are together advancing that timeline of freedom. And not just for ourselves, but also for our earth that we are so divinely bonded with. And so as we are waking up within the dream and that amnesia, that haze is sort of dissipating, we're shifting from unconscious creation, which is really our autopilot, carelessness and lack of awareness, where we're sloppy with our creations and things just seem to happen on their own accord. And we're shifting into more of an intentional, conscious manifestation where we have clear vision, clear intent, and devotion. Together, this is how we bring about our new ideas, our new realities for ourselves and our families and our legacy, the new versions of ourselves. And so this is the process of dismantling, letting go, the death of the old and the rebirth of the new. And so it's so important for us to acknowledge that we are here for something bigger than what society has led us to believe is possible. And so you may be experiencing that insight that's coming through right now, these memories coming online, this strong inner knowing, this wisdom, this deeper sense of inner guidance that's coming forward to help you better align with your true potential, with your true passions, your soul callings, what you've been called to as a more meaningful cause in your life. And so this is a time where we must listen and respond to our soul nudges and that inner voice of spirit that's speaking to us through sensation, through passion, through excitement, through vitality. And this is how we start to become conscious of how we use our life force, how we apply our life force in the right way. And so as we shift out of unconscious creation into conscious creation, it's really a shift out of the ego mind and into the heart space. So the ego mind is always thinking its way through life. It's fear-based and it wants to keep everything safe and predictable. It wants everything to be known and familiar because it's trying to keep you safe, it's trying to keep you secure. But it operates from a limited perspective, and this moment right now is really pushing us to surrender the mind to the wisdom and the intelligence of the heart and allowing that to be our guiding light and to illuminate the way ahead. And this is the only way that we are going to find ease and trust in navigating the unknown spaces of which confronts the ego mind so intensely. It makes it panic, it makes it spiral into fear and doubt. And so as we continue to move along this ascension process and timeline, the earth is really conceiving and rebirthing a higher form and expression of self. And it's a process of density being dropped and released, and this remembrance of what is possible, this ultimate liberation, this truth over illusion and liberation over suppression. Okay, because this is the free will construct. the earth also has free will, just as we do, and we are in this free will experience in this universe, and it is our destiny to fulfill our true potential as we really overcome all of this planetary oppression and control that has been so intense from these external forces for so long. And so Gaia is the Divine Mother. She's the primordial goddess creation energy, and she is remembering herself. And so together we are rising. We're doing this together. We're on this journey together because our bodies are going through an ascension, and our bodies are extensions of the earth. We are one body of consciousness, and there is no separation, only the illusion of it. We're going through this incredible elemental activation. The elements of our earth are transforming. They are rising. And so we have these four winds, the serpent, the condor, the jaguar, and the hummingbird that the ancients spoke about, the traditional native cultures. And really that represents the four base building blocks of our DNA, A, T, C, and G. It's woven together into the same fabric, and we are transforming together with our earth. This is the autogenic creation, the capacity for the earth and for all of us to birth ourselves because we contain the totality of all creation, all of divine source, all possible energy and directive is within us and accessible through us. We do not need permission. We do not need anything on the outside to help us have this authentic creation experience, to have this experience of rebirth. And so, although this is an exciting and incredible time on Earth, it's also a challenging period of transition and intensification, especially when it comes to our physical bodies and our emotions and that very frequent and consistent feeling like we're purging and detoxing and releasing. And probably you are feeling the same. There is a sense that we are moving through so much and we are clearing so much. So it's important to trust that every time we release something that is not the truth of our soul, that's been holding us back, that's a falsity, we are creating space for the new to emerge from within us. And so it's important for us to soften and to work with this current momentum that is assisting us. The softness can only really come about through trust. When we don't trust, we harden, we grip, we try to control, we compress, and it is the opposite of really allowing that spaciousness to bloom within us. And so we are experiencing this dormant earth DNA that's igniting, and it's this beautiful restoration process, this ultimate becoming, where the earth is shedding her skins just like the serpent, the old stories, the old facades, all of this density of this control 3D matrix that has really been keeping us and the earth herself in this limited expression of what is truly possible. So this is the suffering, this is the distortion, this is the disrespect to the earth, this is the war, this is the disease, this is all of the incoherence that has been playing out on this planet for so long. And so a lot of us really worry and are quite confused about, well, how is it possible that some of us are going to ascend and some of us, clearly are going down the timeline of darkness, and it seems to be getting worse with this level of hatred and evil on the planet. How is it possible that this can coexist and we can have different versions of reality? This is the impact of dispensation, where the physics of our reality literally shift in accordance with our energy. So that's the difference between somebody who is panicking and paranoid about 5G towers and their impact upon their cellular coherence, the impact upon their being, and those who somehow just seem to elevate above that. that create their own reality outside of the density or the negative effects that would otherwise affect someone else who is choosing to participate in that lower vibration because of their emotional reaction to it. So this dispensation is allowing us to be free, right? To be able to choose which reality we want to live in and how we want to co-create with it. And how that reality unfolds around us, even the physics of the reality, how it comes into manifestation. So the field of possibility is opening up. Some people call it 3D, 5D, but it's bigger than that. All possibilities are always available to us, not only 3D and 5D. There really is no veils between any dimension. It's all available within us as this divine source and this totality that is always living and breathing through us in each moment. And so when it comes to our crystalline DNA, this is and always was the original divine expression of who we truly are. We have not been able to experience or feel that for so many thousands of years because of the unnatural alterations to these divine structures. And this is what's caused our amnesia and how it's come to be that we've forgotten who we are. We've forgotten our power. We've forgotten our free will. We've forgotten that we are creator beings and are able to rebirth ourselves in any moment. This is what's led to disease and disharmony and depletion of our life force within this false construct. And so our DNA structures are crystallizing. We are transmuting that density and we're becoming those carriers of this enlightened energy once again. And so we're opening up to the divine mother matrix and that energy, that beautiful purity, that beautiful exquisite essence and substance of original creation in its perfection. And of course, in union with the divine father energy. And so together, our DNA works on a genetic union template. And so it's activating through our capacity to clear these patterns and programs that literally create overlays. They create distortion patterns within our energetic templates that show up in our lives as trauma, stress, repetitive crisis, and emotional turmoil. And so our DNA is really what is projecting our experience, our reality. And you can think of it like an old movie projector with the screen. You know, it's this emanation of light that's pouring through our DNA, creating vectors, creating a resonance field. Okay, and so we become the light bearers. We are the ones that are creating reality in every moment with every breath. The universe out there is just a feedback mechanism. It's in response to us. We're the original source of creation. We have the divine inner authority to choose the quality of life we want to live. And so that's why so much is coming up for us right now, because embedded within our DNA are these old stories, these old traumas, these negative beliefs and patterns that are creating density in our lives. And so the light of that light projector, the movie projector, that divine source consciousness flows through our DNA, and it literally creates the movie of our life on the screen in front of us. And so if we have unresolved energies and traumas within us, it is going to continue to be projected into our reality with certain scenarios, people, events that keep playing out the same programs. And so our liberation is about healing ourselves with love at the deepest level of our being, the deepest level of our body memory, at the deepest level of our DNA. That is how we are going to shift our internal reality, therefore shift our external manifestation. And so we don't need to know how all of this happens, the mechanics of how this happens. It's all we need to do is learn to love ourselves. to forgive ourselves, to forgive others. All we need is that devotion to be compassionate towards our own process, to investigate and inquire within ourselves about what's not serving us anymore, what we've been carrying for so long that is really just holding us down and creating the same outcome again and again and again. And so we literally are learning once again to uncoil the wrath, the density of each illusion and each limitation that is not the truth of our soul. And this is how we find our emancipation, our freedom. This is how we find the clarity and the truth of who we really are and our place within the big picture of creation. And so the more that you can purify and release and bring love to those spaces of darkness within you, for the parts of you that are in pain, the parts of you that feel unworthy, that feel shame, that feel guilt or grief. This is how we're going to hold the higher quality of light. And I know for so many of us that we have those fleeting moments where we can really hold it, where we can really feel such freedom, such bliss, such effortless ease in our body, and everything in life just flows. But then it kind of slips away again and we revert back to the old paradigm. Okay. And then we sort of feel like we're oscillating. We can't quite hold it all the time. Okay. There's this fluctuation that's happening, but if this is happening to you, this is normal. This is a part of stepping up and onboarding into the new expression of that higher quality of creation, that higher quality of love. We are all headed in that direction of being able to be that full embodiment all the time. And so it's okay if it's challenging to hold those higher frequencies, those beautiful days that you have versus those days where everything just seems to be falling apart. We are oscillating between dimensions. It's like we're moving in and out of the higher self-identity and the lower self. We're moving back and forth. And it's going to take us time to fully integrate and allow that gnosis to emerge and completely infuse with every part of us. And in the meanwhile, it's requiring us to be patient with ourselves, to let go of the timing of how long our healing journey is going to take, to let go of expectations. Just take each moment as it comes. It's really the only way to be kind to yourself and take the pressure off yourself. And so it is like a seed that is imprinted with its ultimate knowing. It's already within you. There's a destiny that's already unfurling, and it's just time. Okay, it's just taking time to blossom into full radiance. And that journey of becoming is exquisite. So let's give that process of healing, no matter how messy it feels, no matter how inconsistent we feel, let's give that process value. Let's honor it and be grateful for it. And so as our DNA is crystallizing, it's restoring, rebundling, repairing itself, coming back to this original intelligence. There are more and more diagonals that are being embedded into the stranded DNA. The complexity is morphing, and this primordial purity is really coming online. And so the crystallization is what's allowing the full spectrum of possibilities. It's all of the vibrational tones and colors within light itself. Okay, the refraction of all the divine potentials to create with. So that's our palette with all of the colors that we get to create. We get to paint the canvas of our life. And so this is only possible because of these massive cosmological shifts that have been occurring, these galactic alignments. You've all been noticing the intensification of solar flare activity and geomagnetic activity. And although we're feeling really thrown around half the time, this is really supporting our activation. This is really helping to unveil a new access to our greater potential, which was always there within us. It was just suppressed. And so this is the return of our natural right to be conscious creators, to be living an experience of freedom, of joy and fulfillment. And so you may be noticing that you're experiencing some of these different symptoms yourself. You're noticing potentially that your intuition is really, really heightening, and perhaps some different psychic abilities are coming online. That's really common for this moment of time right now. You may be noticing that healing is quite accelerated. Your body just seems to be overcoming stagnancy and density and illness a lot quicker than before. You might be noticing increased manifestation, increased abundance in ways that may not necessarily come in the traditional sense of abundance. Okay, you just happen to have synchronicities and blessings. You align with the right people and you get what you need, okay, without effort, without even having to fight for it. You might be noticing that your creativity is really enhanced. So when we become these clear channels of divine source, we're literally plugging ourselves directly into the cosmic server. Okay, not into any intermediary, not into anything that is separating us from the source, just directly plugged in to the cosmic server. And so this is so important because our DNA acts like antenna to various dimensional frequencies, different planes of reality, because we've got the 12-dimensional light fields, the diamond light body. And it's beyond 12 dimensions, it's infinite. And this, as it comes online, is helping us to have access to this deeper knowing, this unmistakable truth that just speaks to us from within. And this is the infinite intelligence of God consciousness that we are connected to, because it is us. Even in this 3D physical experience, we're still God consciousness. Our bodies are still God consciousness. And so we've been, living in this reality with only a couple of our strands activated. But now we're opening up, that field of possibilities opening up, and we are experiencing a different quality of ourselves, a different quality of what's possible as creator beings, because each strand of DNA as it comes online creates different templates for experience, okay, because it has different tonality. It organizes templates as geometries, as vectors, like the image of our holographic reality, the movie projector, the light coming in and projecting through our own patterning and templates and creating the world around us the way that we see it and the way that we interpret it. So the more that our DNA is crystallizing, coming online, the more we're returning back to love, the more that we're going to notice that our reality is shifting in the most beautiful and miraculous ways. And so this is the awakening in the dream, the illusionary state that we've been in of amnesia, where we've forgotten that we're God consciousness. And this has been our ultimate suffering, because instead of creating in freedom, creating with intention, we've been creating without knowing what we're creating. Other external forces have been creating for us. And so this ascension right now, this new earth, this new timeline, is all about you accessing the truth of your soul and the guidance that's already within you, and all of your gifts, all of your talents, all of your uniqueness and what you have to offer as the best version of you. And so it's so important for us right now, with everything that's intensifying in our 3D reality, with war and with discordance that's happening, a lot of fear-based energies that are orbiting around the field, this atmosphere of fear. Okay, it's important for us to conserve our energy in terms of how we react, in terms of how we invest ourselves in these narratives, and how we can direct more of our energy to our expanding consciousness, to really stop leaking our energy, to commit and follow our own truth, because this is what's going to lead us to empowerment. This is what's going to lead us to the conscious creation of an entirely new world and reality. And so this is the restoration of the divine matrix. This is the return of the divine mother that we are all feeling right now. And so as she returns, her essence is made known to us. We're able to feel it once again. It's really this return of the divine natural order that is outside of all artificial or manipulated influence. She is emerging and she's offering us this timeless memory, supporting us in remembering who we truly are as conscious creators, as God consciousness, God and Goddess. So this is the primordial wisdom that is within all of us, that is within our earth. Okay, and this primordial wisdom is timeless. It transcends the illusion of time itself. This is the beauty and the grace of creation, having an authentic experience of expression. And this is her devotion, this is her gratitude, her fertility that is blooming right now. So it's so important for us to open to receive her love, to receive her grace, to allow ourselves to be enveloped with her medicine, with her nourishment and nurturance. And like that seed that's imprinted with its destiny and its own knowing, we are now being gifted the correct conditions to thrive. So it's as though the soil that we are now embedded in and living in is nourishing us in ways that it wasn't before. And so this is a time for us to open to receive the love that is here for us, the nourishment that is here, and knowing that we don't have to figure everything out by ourselves. We don't do ourselves any good when we're trying to force and chase, when we're trying to meet our needs out of a place of doubt and fear. This is about softening into a surrendered existence where we can actually flow, where abundance can flow, where love can elevate us and envelop us so that we can feel safe in our own being. And so as we open up that spaciousness, we let go of the gripping, we let go of the hardness, the distrust that causes us to try to control our reality out of fear, out of lack. And we start to realize the divine is our supply, and it's a perpetual supply. And all we need to do is remember that we are conduits of that infinite cosmic energy. And so it's up to us to realize where we have been hindering that flow, where we have been blocking that flow that wants to flow through us, it wants to move through us. It doesn't judge who's deserving or who's not. We are all worthy to experience freedom and joy and abundance. And so while we're on the topic of abundance, because this is such a key frequency of the mother, it's such a key frequency of the father as well. Okay, and such a prominent theme for so many of us right now, especially those who are really trying to shift and transition out of careers and jobs that just don't feel like it is aligned for them anymore, and step more into service work, which can be challenging to support yourself in that way financially. And so it's really this unplugging from the false matrix and letting go of this incessant chasing of wealth and security, because we have to realize that we can't transact a sense of safety and security and fulfillment with something that's outside of us. Our needs cannot and will never be met in this way. The divine is our supply. Our supply is within us and it flows through us if we will allow it. We are self-sourcing. And so this is the mother's wisdom that is speaking to us, reminding us that we don't just have to cope anymore, that we get to choose to thrive and to bloom. What would love choose? If I really love myself, what would I choose? Would I let go of this old version of me that's always pushing and hustling and worried about the future and panicking all the time? Or would it be more loving to myself to just surrender, to trust that I'm worthy and to trust that everything is here to support me right now. My only real blockage is my ability to receive it. But she's speaking to us all through nature, through our hearts, through our bodies, through the love that we feel for life itself, the care that we feel for our children, the care that we feel for this earth. She is that dynamic, vibrant, loving energy that will not remain stagnant. She is energy in motion, decay and death, and then rebirth and transformation. It's literally like the process of composting, creating compost for the garden. This is the dark mother, the dark matter, where the energy and the nourishment is alchemized and transformed into something new. There really is no death. That is the illusion. And so this is all about coming back to that connection with the true divine matrix, allowing the true divine mother to rise within us all and to feel her energy of creation, of fertility, of abundance, of softness, of surrender, of flow, of joy, of innocence, to really envelop us, to really infuse us on every level and layer of our being. This is what she's ultimately teaching us, where we start to flow with life instead of controlling it. She's teaching us that reality is pliable. Everything is fluid. Energy is always in motion, and no matter how much your mind is telling you that everything is predetermined and rigid and fixed into a position, our ego mind does this to us all the time. It only has a reference of what has already occurred to create its judgment of how things will be. So if it didn't work out before, the ego will tell you that there's just no point in getting your hopes up. We're starting to realize that because everything is so pliable right now, that we actually can change and alter anything about our lives in any moment through our intent. Okay, intention is so important right now. Our intent is what creates our vibrational field of energy. And so the more we can connect to our intention, the more we can meditate with it and sit with it, journal about our intentions for the day, for the week, okay, for the future, the more consistent we're going to be with that vibration. And the consistency is what creates the stability of the new reality. And so this is really an invitation to honor your inner world, to come back to yourself, to let go of the distraction and allow yourself to come into this compassionate contemplation about where you're at right now, about how you're feeling about your life right now. And without judging yourself, allow that inquiry to start to move the energy for those honest truths to come forward. And it's okay if the answers aren't always there straight away. The most important thing is that we devote ourselves to trying, that we devote ourselves to our own personal process, and we show up for ourselves each and every day to the best that we can with the time that we have in our busy lives, with the awareness that we have, whatever our capacity is in that moment, showing up for ourselves. This is the unconditional love that Divine Mother is showing us, that is teaching and reminding us. And so it's a time for us all to remember that the power is within us. And that power was always within us. And so it is my deepest intention that this transmission can support and assist you in the ways that you need it most right now on your journey in your life. And may you feel worthy to open your heart, your mind, your body, and your being to receive this love of the Mother, this light, this medicine, this healing offering, this remembrance, and to allow that to flow through you and to course through you and to come to your own realizations of everything that you're ready to remember and everything that you're ready to see in a new and different way. And thanking each and every one of you for being here today and for receiving this transmission and this offering. And may you continue to recognize your own worthiness to receive the love, the support, the guidance that is always here for you. All my love.